I'm standing in front of the Redbox the other day trying to pick out a movie. I have my phone out on the Flickster app looking up percentages. I come across The House. It's 17%. But then I'm staring at Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell on the cover. In my opinion, two of the funniest people out there today. It looks like they're starting their own casino, which doesn't sound like the best premise, but it could be alright. At the very least, it looked like it would have some funny parts. I went against Rotten Tomatoes and I took a shot on these two. Not my best decision. Turns out the 17% was being generous. This thing belongs in single digits. I wouldn't argue if you said it should be at a 0. My goodness, this movie has problems, and I'm going to go through it step by step so you can fully understand how much I regret spending that $1.50. Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler are this girl's parents. In the first few minutes, we learn how she really wants to go to this university next year. We quickly go to a town hall meeting and learn that they've been heavily relying on this city-sponsored scholarship to pay the tuition.
This year's recipient is none other than Alex Johansson. The scholarship is an indulgence that the town can no longer afford.
Now, what kind of a way is that to deliver the news? And they cut the scholarship funding after it's already been awarded to a specific student. There may be grounds for a lawsuit here. At the same meeting, we get introduced to Martha, whose main character trait is saying that she's Martha.
But that's who I am, I'm Martha.
She starts fighting with someone, a lot of inappropriate fighting at this meeting. So now that the scholarship didn't come through, they need to find a different way to get the money. That's where everything completely falls apart. The town hall meeting was just about the best part of the movie. Obviously, there's traditional ways to pay for college. They could seek out other scholarships, grants, student loans. That would be the logical next step for any family in this situation. But all of these options are completely ignored. These are the ways they seek to raise the money. They go to their financial advisor because they remembered they did in fact have a college fund.
But then we remembered that we have a college fund with our dear financial advisor, Dawn.
Seems like an odd thing to forget, but actually they didn't have a college fund.
You don't have enough money.
They were shockingly unclear on whether or not they've been depositing thousands of dollars over the past 18 years. But then when he gives it a closer look, they did in fact have $401,000 in an account that they just missed.
It says right here in this account we have $401,000.
Jackpot.
You missed it.
It was actually just a 401k account they were looking at. These people do not keep good track of their finances. In a different attempt to get the money, Will Ferrell asks for a raise. Considering the fact that they need $50,000 by the end of the summer, I can't imagine a raise would help too much.
Can I have a raise?
No way. No earthly way.
There's also a weak subplot about their neighbor getting divorced and losing his house.
You are a gambling addict. You lost your job and you stopped showering.
We should go.
I know.
So anyway, in the next scene, of course, they're in Las Vegas. I don't know why, but it helps them come up with this idea.
House always wins. What if we were the house?
You see how flawlessly they progress the story? How organic these lines feel?
What if we were the house?
What if we were the house?
Their new plan for raising that college tuition is starting a casino in their neighbor's house. Not student loans, but rather starting an illegal casino in their neighbor's house. It's here that we learn Will Ferrell is bad at math.
Do this math. You're 40 years old and you go to jail for 20 years. How old are you when you get out?
90.
No.
100.
You're 40 years old. You go to jail for 20 years. How old are you when you get out? His answer was 90. His second guess was 100. His boss was right not to give him that raise. Now we go through the necessary steps to enter their casino. You simply park at the market across the street, buy something so you have a receipt that proves you're a customer, walk out through the woods leading to the house's backyard, go down the basement stairs, knock 3 times, and give him the password. How much business do you expect this casino to get? For one, it takes 20 minutes to enter, may detract some customers. But for two, it's in a small suburban town. This was their town hall meeting that included practically every resident the movie focuses on. How many people would you say are there? 30? My estimate would be maybe 6 people show up to the casino.
You got a professional shooter.
Will Ferrell is bad at math again.
A lot of people, break out in sweats and have heart palpitations when they hear numbers out loud.
They try to hide everything from their daughter through terrible lies.
You're working on a super top secret project, that you may or may not reveal to me later.
She sees through them, but nothing really comes of any of this. The daughter is not given much attention in this movie. She's in a lot of scenes, but besides being the thin motivation for the main plot, she doesn't do much. Like right there, I figured maybe she'd get suspicious about what they're up to and maybe follow them to the casino. Earlier in the movie, it felt like there was a whole subplot forming with her friends about what they're doing over the summer or preparing for college or something.
Guys, high school's over. And let's face it, we're not ready for college.
But it's never followed up on. Back at the casino, two men start fighting because, well, this guy keeps hitting on the worst hands, and the other guy doesn't like it.
Bobo here keeps hitting on the worst hands.
I play how I play. You don't like it, you leave.
Very strange thing to get upset about. But it somehow leads to the two fighting formally with everyone betting on them. We also see more of Martha here.
You want a piece of these thighs? You don't know what's coming.
They have these money cannons that spray hundreds all over the room. I don't know why. I know it's a cool scene and all, but why would these characters get money cannons? We're only 30 minutes in at this point, so I'm going to speed things up for the middle parts, but trust me, it's just as nonsensical as everything else. There's a good 5-minute sequence where both the kids and the parents are separately doing drugs and trying to hide it from each other. No need for it. Amy Poehler throws up in a container. I think she has to buy it at that point. We get more of this guy trying to get back his wife. The city hall meeting is now empty because everyone's at the casino, I suppose. This woman is told to remove her sunglasses even though she's clearly wearing them because her face is all beat up. That's a result of another pointless scene from earlier that I skipped over. There's another subplot where the city councilman is having an affair with this woman. They do a great job at hiding it though.
We were holding hands, Chandler, you know why?
Yeah.
Because we're having an affair.
Yeah.
So now, they catch someone cheating at the casino and feel they have to make an example out of him. Will Ferrell cuts off his finger. It was sort of an accident. I actually thought this scene was pretty funny. Not good, but funny.
Hey, are you still stoned?
What? Yes.
I am also stoned, and nothing is more clear than the fact that we need to murder this guy.
Though it quickly became unfunny. A policeman is suspicious of someone entering the market, so he follows him. I really don't understand what made this guy seem suspicious. Here's how it happened. The cop is just eating his cup of noodles. He sees a car park in the store's parking lot, and then the man walks into the store. I do not know why he felt the need to follow him. He loses him in the dark woods, but the cop decides to investigate the area the next day, leading to a ridiculous scene between him and the neighbor.
I'm Officer Chandler, and I'm here protecting as well as serving. I'm gonna respond to this call.
What call? Nothing happened. He didn't say anything.
There's a disturbance.
This is the worst cop I've ever seen. Now, since Will Ferrell cut off that guy's finger, people are afraid of him, and he's bad at math again.
Maybe I should count it.
Oh, you gonna count it?
I don't think.
Oh, you okay?
Since people are afraid of him, I suppose it leads to an entire personality change for all of them. They go around collecting money people owe them over a Snoop Dogg track. Here, they're all in the middle of the street while he attempts to put a wad of money in a fanny pack, but fails, so now they're chasing it all over the street while the cars need to get through. We learn the city councilman is stealing money from the city. It sounds like that should be a major part of the movie, but it's really not. Will Ferrell combs his hair back, wears sunglasses, starts smoking, really falling into his new role as a casino owner. It doesn't last long because the ridiculous cop and the city councilman become wise to their casino and they bust in. In most cases, they would be arrested for running an illegal casino. The money would be taken as evidence for the impending trial. Here, they're not arrested and the city councilman takes the money for himself. You could interpret that as him accepting a bribe in return for not arresting them, but then the cop is there as well. Not benefiting at all, but going along with it. I don't know. It's a weird scene. The herald angels sing, glory to. But there's a scene a few minutes later that's much weirder. They reopen the casino. The daughter finds her way there, not through her suspicions, just happens to end up there with her friends. At that same time, the guy who lost his finger, he was involved with the mob, and he comes back with his boss, either for revenge or just to rob the place. I'm not entirely sure. But then the plan turns into kidnapping the daughter for ransom. It leads to Will Ferrell cutting off the guy's arm and Amy Poehler setting him on fire with a flamethrower that eventually sets the entire house on fire. Things got really intense and then completely resolved almost instantly. That whole sequence I just described takes place over 4 minutes. In the end, the only thing we take from it is the fact that the house burned down. And that could have been achieved in a much simpler way. There was no need for any of this. The ridiculous cop then teams up with the family in an attempt to expose the city councilman and get the money back.
This is nothing to be afraid of. Here.
Part of the plan involves Will Ferrell remembering the combination to a safe. Considering his limited math skills, he may not have been the best person for that task. He suspects that a squiggly line may be part of it.
Squiggly line. Is that part of the combination?
And then, in this intense moment of them being in a government building illegally and trying to remember the combination, his daughter calmly says,
I'm gonna miss you next year. At college.
and that was enough to spark his memory.
29, 52, 41, 78 pounds.
Eventually, they corner him in a room and he admits he took the money.
Yeah, I took the money! I took the money from the Johansons, and I took the money from the town.
There was no reason to admit it since everyone in the room already knew he took it.
So we're confiscating all your money.
Hold on, you can't take the money.
They didn't even ask him, he just said it. But it's a good thing he did, because now it's on camera.
I'm so glad you said that clearly, Bob, because we've been recording it on all these cameras.
Well, actually, it's not on camera.
Anyway, if those cameras weren't turned on, I just said that to freak him out.
Why have this part? Just keep us believing you got it on camera. That will be useful during the trial. They unraveled the entire resolution for that little dumb joke. I'm really not exactly sure how it does all get resolved. It looks like the family somehow got to keep the money and the daughter ended up going to college after all. And then it ends with one last ridiculous scene.
We're just having a little trouble getting out.
Where you gonna go, huh?
Soccer moms.
The house is just a disaster. The main plot of starting a casino in their house so they could pay for their daughter's tuition is insane. I don't know why they didn't just come up with a different reason for why they need money fast. The subplots were all extremely basic. As far as the screenplay, I don't see how this could be much worse, but I will say a few little positives. The actors did deliver a few funny moments, you just have to sit through a bunch of garbage to get to them. They're the kind of moments where they're funny in the trailer, but then when you see them in context, they're not nearly as good. Also, some of the scenes created a cool atmosphere. This dice rolling scene was impactful. Parts of these fight scenes were good too. If these isolated shots were placed in a more serious movie, it would have worked very well. But these are such minor positives, it's just bad. Don't be fooled by the cover like I was. It's not even that great of a cover. I just wanted to believe. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on The House. If you go against my recommendation and see it anyway, or by some miracle you've already seen it, tell me what parts you agree or disagree with. And if you happen to like this movie, please tell me why, because I'm just not seeing it. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.